Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means? It's Kliq Talks, and I know it's weird, right? Like you're seeing Dre not on the pre-show. You just saw me and a great live stream with Josh Pence, and I'm back. But this time, I'm with my brother from another, Smitty Rock. Yeah, I'm sad that we are missing JC. As I said in the live stream, JC and Bob are not going to be on with us tonight because they are both fighting colds. JC a little bit more serious, and Jasmine, we send our best and we hope nothing but love and good. You guys get better. Focus on y'all getting better.
Yep,
and Bob,
better quick.
Exactly. And Bob just Sudafed, Dayquil, and allergy medicines. When I'm medicated up right now, so that's what's making it through. So, Smitty, I gotta ask you, bro. You seem to be doing pretty good. How are you feeling?
Overall, I'm pretty good. Like I said before we got on, a little tired, but had a busy week so far, work-wise. Been in the office all 3 days, which is why I wasn't able to make the earlier stream. Had a later meeting this evening, or late in the afternoon, which put me right in the worst part of rush hour. So it took me like an hour and a half to get home. So I'm fresh off of stuffing my face really quickly before getting on here.
I understand. Trust me.
But, and then I've got to get ready. I'm actually traveling Sunday. I have to fly to Austin for a conference where I'm going to be a speaker on one of the panels one of the days. So,
Very, very awesome. I'm very proud of you for that, because I know that that's something that we don't always get to hear, a very positive thing, like where you're actually speaking out on that. So people, Bob is here in spirit. He will be in the chat, but he's here in spirit because he cannot breathe and he can type, which is good. That lets us know he's alive. So one of the things JC had posted a couple days ago in our group text was something that I think is a very good idea to discuss, and it's kind of twofold. This month is Asian American and Pacific Islander Appreciation Month, as well as it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, mental health awareness, I'm going to just say this as very bluntly as possible, should not be just a month. It should be always. We should always be caring about what we do with our bodies, what we do with our minds, because if we're too stressed and we're not happy enjoying the little things in life, then it's not healthy. That our minds are crucially affected by everything we do. If we get depressed over not eating properly or exercising or work or relationship, friendship, whatever, you have to be mindful that these things are very serious and you have to take care of yourself, whether that's read a comic book, read a book, watch your favorite show, go to the movies, just go for a walk, whatever it is, go for a drive. The world is crazy and full of a lot of bullshit that will drive you nuts. You just got to find out what that little thing to make you happy is, and I tell my wife this all the time. I'm like, hey, Lord knows it ain't easy being a teacher, dealing with kids screaming at you all day, and then you got to come home to the three of us. And, it's tough, but it's coming home to your family, and that should be your respite. That should be your rejuvenation. What makes you enjoy the fact that you're home. So JC wanted us to kind of talk about something that we do to keep us mentally happy and, to keep us like refreshed. So Smitty, what is something you do that keeps you relaxed, not stressed, and that is kind of like one of your mental like wellness things you do?
I mean, and you guys know a good part of it is, following the people I follow, you know, getting on like Booze and Buddies on a Friday night, that's a, how do I want to say, that's a de-stressor, because it's, a bunch of people that, um, I've gotten to know over the last 2 years or so, or a year and a half, um, and just mess with, the chat in Booze and Buddies is always crazy and fun. Um, and then collecting, being able to pick up, cool additions to the collection, and getting to fuss over them when they get here. And then just, I'd say, when I can, obviously, getting to spend time with Liz is the other best thing I do. Um, you know, but I mean, for me, I mean, also one of my big mental is, I mean, you and Bob know, I mean, I'll go down to my parents for Thanksgiving every year. And I'll go down there for 2 weeks, and it's really that's a big decompress for me. It's unplugging from work. I am off the computer for most of that time. And it's just a 2 week. I'll find a book that I want to read. It's the only time I read for pleasure. Just because, I mean, in my day to day, I'm reading all sorts of technical, regulatory, and legislative stuff, and by the time I get home here, I don't want to read. I don't want to open a book or even a comic book and read anymore.
Yeah, the wife says that too. It's like there's like over Easter break, she got to read like for pleasure instead of actually reading for her classes or reading for work. It comes down to a lot of the times that she doesn't get to even really decompress. Like she actually got to read, like, I think like 3 or 4 books, maybe more, over the break because she actually had the time. And that's something that's important for her. Like I see that. So I get what you're saying. Like sometimes you see a book and you're just like, forget this shit. I don't want to read no technical manuals. Like forget that mess.
So yeah, I mean that, and sometimes I'll get on the computer and play Apex with some of my boys, and otherwise it's really just most of my day is get up, go to work, do that, come home, get something to eat, decompress a little, and then because of the early start and traffic, I usually am I go to bed early now because I've got to go into the office now again, or most days. So it's also managing that, though. If I don't go to bed by a certain time, especially if I have to go into the office, I don't get enough sleep. I'm a cranky, miserable SOB. And I don't want to be that.
He has to have a Snickers.
No, it's not that. I'm old. I need a certain amount of sleep.
Oh no, I agree with you. Like I got past that where I can break night and like stay up all night and function on like 2 hours of sleep. Hell no. I need like at least six solid hours.
I mean,
if I can get 6, I can function all day.
Oh, and when I was young, I did that all the time. I got through, when I was going through school, I was, I went back to school late. I didn't go right out of high school. So when I went back to school, I was 21 to 24, in that range. I was going to school full time. I was working full time. At one point I was, for a while I was working 2 jobs, going to school full time, going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. I functioned on, I would Friday nights I would go out, close the bar, go home, literally get like maybe 4 hours of sleep.
And then go do it again.
Get up, go to the part-time job, work all day, come home, eat something, maybe take an hour nap, go out, close the bar, do the same thing, get 4 hours sleep, go back to the part-time job to work Sunday, and then crash once I got home Sunday to get up and go to school on Monday morning.
Lord knows, I would have definitely said I've had those days. I think I can't. I definitely at 43, about to be 44 this July. I definitely can't do that shit anymore. I've reached a mental point of where I'm like, if I do that, I'm not gonna function, and I have kids, so it's a very, very different when I have a 2-year-old that needs my attention, a 12-year-old that needs me if I got to drive somewhere. I gotta be like, I'm awake, I'm super dad, and then it's like I power nap when I can. I can hear Meredith already laughing at me in the kitchen. So but one of the big mental health things I know I do is and the wife has said it to me, that this is my creative outlet. Since being home watching Rory and out of work, it weighs on the mind a lot to find things to do. Because I could occupy the 2-year-old's attention all day, but she naps for 2 hours, and then it's like I'm by myself. What am I gonna do? So I do my best to try to spend time with my family. Like, first and foremost, I did that Saturday, and it was amazing. We went and got ice cream together. We had dinner together. It was like the perfect family fun day for like the 4 of us. It was like we needed it. It was a rough week for Meredith, a rough week for me being sick. The baby needed the attention. Lana needed the attention. It was like perfect. I know, and it's something you need to do. Like I'm a creature that needs my family. I have friends that I love. Yes, I do, but I need my family. I live with my family all the time. I have to have them. Like, they got to be happy so I can be happy. The other thing I do that's also fun, besides the show and that, is I read comic books and play with toys. I try to make time. I'm not gonna lie. I try to make time to play with toys. But lately it's been more getting rid of pieces than it is actually building up my collection. I was just talking to Josh about this, that I'm gonna send him a picture of the office, because he and I are both trading pictures of our offices, how they look. He was so vehement about it, and I loved it because I feel the same way. It's like he looks and he's like, fuck, there's so much shit. And I look to the right, there's shit. To the left, there's shit. And he's like, I love your setup, that you got your thing. He's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, yeah, I need to fix this, because I love that I got a new backdrop. I love that I swap desks with the wife, but I need to have this look a little bit more organized for me and for her. It's something I promised her, and I got to do it. And that clutter is a big thing that people don't realize that causes depression, because when you have so much shit and it closes it on you, you can't look past the clutter, and you have to clear that shit out.
I can tell from personal. It's also when you try to have. You get to the point where you're like, why bother? It's where do I even start with it? There's so much.
Meredith says the exact same thing. She says sometimes she'll just look at it and be like, fuck it. And she just gets so stressed because it pushes her to that point of just like, I don't even know where to start. And she just goes and does something else. And it to me, I'm the one that immerses myself in it, because I'm like, well, fuck, what do I do? So hence why I'm going through like the massive the bigger purge than I was before. Like before, I was getting rid of lines that I like 2 lines. Now I'm probably getting rid of about 3 or 4 lines of stuff I collect, and trimming the fat down to a few, to like the ones that I pose. And if you can't fit, like Josh said, you got to go.
Oh, and if Dave ever sees this, he's gonna laugh at me because he knows I've been saying I need to start sorting through because I want to get rid of some of my Funkos because there's just too many, and I'm in too many stuff. I want to pare it down. I really want to be more into the custom toy stuff. So, but I've been saying that for over a year, literally, because Dave and I talked about it, and with the auctions he does, I basically got to deal with him. I give him the inventory, he does the auctions, we split it. So it works.
As I'm doing my best friend Nicole.
It's a win-win for both of us. He doesn't have to come up with inventory, and I don't have to deal with the shipping, and
everybody makes money. It's all good.
Yep.
So I have a question for you, because I know that you've been posting it on Instagram. Besides, I'm going to add to what JC had told us. Part of the mental health is that we get pickups. Do you have anything that you want to share?
Pickups. I was posting some of the stuff I picked up over the weekend. So, I've got, I picked up 2 minis from Ghosty, his 2 new pins. But I also, I'm waiting on one thing from the Miscast show. Well, a couple of things, but from one of the artists. But I would say when I posted these, but I picked up these 2 guys from TNT Plastic. So
that metallic sheen looks dope. I love that one with the metallic.
This one is I posted he came in right before last Friday's stream, so I had him up as the Jason Mask Snallion, and then this is another one. Yes, and Bob knows Snallions very well now. I was very proud of Bob. He was super quick in a claim that they did on that show, and he got this really sick double cast Snallion. So it's a clear Snallion, but in the center of the head is a micro Snallion.
I remember he showed us that last week. That shit looked dope.
Yeah. So I was really happy he got that. And then, right now, other than the pins, I picked up the set. Did I show off? Give me a second. I'll grab the pins I got from Verge.
Well, while we're waiting, I've gotten some stuff that came in. We'll do a little bit of this while we wait for Smitty. I had Mashal #6, which is a good manga. It's like a Harry Potter, One Punch Man action adventure manga. Then I got this D&D manga like Freein, which is like the heroes 100 years after have adventured, and now things are starting to come back to haunt them. And then there's Undead Unlucky, which is hilarious because it's basically like a girl that's like super unlucky and people die around her with an immortal that can't die. So he's like a zombie, and it's actually a really solid one. But I still have more, so I wanted to take a break while Smitty, so there was no dead air.
So last weekend, Liz and I went to the Patches and Pins show in Manhattan, and Evil Ghosty was there, Red Guardian, Urge Yourself. Met up with a couple of my Fiends buddies. So one of the things, I mean, you guys all know, I'm a big Fed Up Toys fan and supporter. So, and if you guys follow Urge Yourself, he does these cool guy pins, and a lot of times he'll do like this kind of like a playoff bracket to come up with which pin is going to win. Basically which design gets the pin made. So Fett didn't win, but because of him being Fett, and Urge is actually a sponsor of Booze and Buddies, they did Fett did a small character of literally a 3D printed guy of the little Ganjira.
Nice.
And the sales of those guys helped pay to get the pins made. So I picked up the full set of 4 Fed Up
Nice.
Urge Yourself Ganjiras pins. And then I saw this guy and had to pick up the Adam West Batman limited edition. But so that was the and then I picked up these 2 from Ghosty, and then another guy that I know through Booze and Buddies is A.W. Weeks. He's a teacher in the city, and picked up a Wan Panda pin from A.W. Geeks. Actually, A.W. Geeks is the one who did that Power Ranger display that I had sent you the picture of.
Yeah, I followed him because I love those. Y'all know I'm a Power Rangers fan, so
I saw it and had to snap the picture just to mess with Dre. But this is the it's a clear, but it's almost like a very light lemon color.
Mm-hmm. That was cool. The lemon drop.
Well, it's not the same as the other one, because the other one's almost, because it's a solid resin. It's not translucent. This one being clear, it's different. I mean, it's different like color wise and stuff. But I had to get that one because I love the clear and stuff. So that's really the only thing I've gotten in so far, this past week, is the stuff from last weekend from the show.
Well, that looks awesome. I mean, I showed off the 3 manga that came in yesterday. Went by and looked at my box, and I will show off the books because I think these comics are freaking awesome. Especially, I can't wait to read Spider-Punk #2. But that's the top one. Spider-Punk #2. I love this cover of like everybody doing like the devil horns and like the webs shooting into the crowd. The universe that he's in is like is Antarctic, so everybody is like, into like chaos, and it's so funny because like his team is Riri Williams, and a hobo Captain America. And I don't want to say hobo, but like it's like he's a Native American. Like they're all minorities. Like Spider-Punk himself is a black guy, and I didn't even know that until I actually read about the artist who was a punk rock kid, and he got into Spider-Man, and he loved punk rock, and he was always looked at differently. So he created a whole universe that's basically anarchic, and Spider-Punk is on like an Avengers team. This is a good book series, and I love the House of Slaughter. So if you haven't read the Something is Killing the Children, which is a kick-ass book series, House of Slaughter, this is the body bag edition. There were several different covers. Every single cover I looked at online was gorgeous, and I wish I could get them, but they're like one of 5 or one of 25 or store variants. So let me pass this into.
Hey, Dark Collectibles. Yeah, that was a little earlier tonight.
Let's see. I got this is a new. I got into the first run of this series, so I had to get this, which was the all new Savage Avengers. Basically, Deathlock is hunting Conan, and Conan is in the original Avengers, Savage Avengers. Conan was brought from Hyboria to our realm and could not get home, and now he's stuck here. And this hodgepodge group of heroes and anti-heroes are going to try to stop Deathlock from killing him.
Dre, your stream with Josh, that was 6 to 7, right?
That was from 6 till 7, but we went over to about 7:15. So that's rendering now, and it should be up in about a half an hour on YouTube, and you guys can watch it. This is part 2 of the Banner of War, and when I saw Banner, it says in the Hulk versus Thor, and it's the current Donny Cates run of Hulk, which is like Hulk as like a mecha Hulk inside of his head, where Bruce Banner is like kind of going insane, and he's trying to fight his own urges in his brain, and he's now fighting the Thor Odin's son. That's the current Thor run, which is really good. So both runs of the characters are fighting, and this is part 2 of that. And these are oversized issues, so they're a little pricey, but they're worth it. So you're getting a lot of good pages of art and a good storyline. Let me see what else we got here. All right, there's this one, which I think this just finished. It is starting up a storyline called Shadow Warzone, and this is the new Batman storyline where Deathstroke was framed for killing Ra's al Ghul. And when he got framed, Damian went on this killing spree to try to get him. And it was found out that Deathstroke and the Deathstroke family did not commit the murder. Somebody else did. And this is the Fallout book from that just finished. So they did the first 5 books. It crossed over a couple Batman titles. And then there's this one. Now, this one caught my interest. It's from an independent company. And it brought up a memory of childhood. It's called My Brother Teddy. And it is a kid that has a teddy bear. And his teddy bear is like, he loves his teddy bear. But this is, what if your teddy bear and you were pulled into a nightmare dimension, and your teddy bear and you have to fight your way out? So you can see the teddy bear is actually like a kick-ass looking bear with a cool-ass claymore. The kid looks really dope. It caught my attention because I remember being a little kid that I had and I still have it to this day, my baby blanket. That's like if you know Linus, that's a baby blanket. And it just brought that memory up, and I was like, I want to give this indie comic a shot. I try to usually give indies, if they're good sounding, a shot, and they haven't let me down yet. And the last one I got, there's other books in my box. These are just the ones I could afford to get. This is called Earth M. Now, Milestone Studios was bought out by DC Comics. Milestone used to be an independent studio that was predominantly, most of the characters were African American or minority driven. And this is a new book called Duo in that universe. So I know that the couple on the cover are involved in some way. I'm interested to see what this is. Milestone is currently running Icon, Rocket, Hardware. Um, there's another Blood Syndicate, which I just picked up the first book of it last week. And then they're also running Static Shock. So if you're interested in seeing,
I gotta check. I may have one of their books somewhere from one of the cons.
if you do, that'd be awesome, because Milestone is, I'm hugely, Milestone got picked up about a year ago. Earlier last year, they were making a comeback into the industry, and they were like, people felt that there was not enough representation in comics. And that's been a very big deal over the last, say, 15, 20 years. And that studio is predominantly minority driven. And when you see the picture on the cover, it's like you see white people in there and Hispanics and everybody else, but it's a predominantly black studio, a minority studio, and like they're represented with everybody, LGBTQ plus, whatever you want to think. And I was like, awesome. So I want to see more of these books and see a different side of like, it feels like DC taking a shot on a studio like Image did with Top Cow.
Yeah. Now I've got to check, because the titles you were saying from Milestone sound really familiar to me, and I'm like, why would that be? And
if you see him, if you have it,
I think I talked with him and actually got one of his books and got him to sign one of them.
That's dope.
From the PhillyCon 2 years ago. Like,
it might have been
right before COVID.
They might have, because I know that this thing started back right when COVID had started, and people were very much into the studio. But like DC with because now they don't go through Diamond anymore for their distribution rights. They do their own. They ship their own books out, which is stupid. But they want to do their own independent distribution, and it sucks, because a lot of the times people that are weekly comic book collectors like myself, you lose out on weeklies because DC will have a whole week where they either push back or they don't come out. So, and this is the last thing. This was a pre-order from Amazon about a year ago.
Collectibles. We will probably try to get them back on at a time when both Bob and I will be able to join on along with Josh and Dre.
Yeah, it's okay. Josh literally just what Smitty just said. Josh said that it's his schedule. He's a dad, and his wife has a crazy schedule, and so does mine. So he's putting his kids to sleep and getting them ready for bed. And when we were getting off, so he said that he would try to work something out with me, and we'll figure something out for all of us to get on together. So that will be something we're working on. So I apologize, but you got us. So, this is, now I'm going to preface this. I'm a big Power Rangers fan, and the Lightning Collection figures, not all of them tickle my fancy, but they're a cheaper alternative to hunting down SH Figuarts of Power Rangers, which are hundreds of dollars now. Like, if you try to get the entire, I think, Shinkenger wave, which is the Samurai Power Rangers Samurai shit that they did, but Shinkenger, all 5 of the base Rangers are $150 for a collector set, and you can't even get that collector set anymore. So, like, if you buy them individually, they're about $90 to $130 a pop. So that sucks, because I love Shinkenger, but it is what it is. So this is one I pre-ordered like last year, and then I had a coupon and I had like gift cards, so I paid it all off, and then they hit me with like an email saying like, oh, it's shipping earlier. It was supposed to ship in August, and it got pushed up. Thank you, shipping delays and early releases for some things. So I got the pink Dino Fury Ranger, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is Dino Charge. So this was Kyo Ranger. I can't, or it was one of the latter. This has been like at least the last 4 years. this Power Ranger series. So I currently have the Red Dino Charge because he was a Target exclusive, and then I had the Silver, which got somehow lost. Amazon lost my box. This is the second figure they've lost in 2 months, and I've had it refunded. So I'm sad because I really wanted to get the Silver one, but he's supposed to show up at Target. But this figure looks dope. These head sculpts are terrible because they're based off the American actors, and I literally just throw them in a box of just heads that I have for figures. So eventually when I do figure photography, I may just get bodies of figures and just start slapping those heads on, because Hasbro has all generic bodies, so you can just like slap them on there. But yeah, that's been like the pickups. It's very sporadic because I don't have anything. Like, I canceled, like I said, a ton of pre-orders. I know that there is stuff I do have coming out next year, and I know that Mezco, we're going to talk about it today because holy shit, Mezco. And I'm going to say holy shit with a big F-U to Mezco. They put out the Spider-Man figure. If you didn't see it, go on Mezco's website. It's beautiful. It lights up. The head actually lights up, and it gives you like the spider effect of like spider sense tingling. It's based on the original 1960s and 70s Peter Parker. And the base is like a web with the original Spider-Man face on it. They're asking $250 for the figure with the light up feature. I said, no thanks. And that's surprising for me that collects Spider-Man. I usually would not say no. But for $250 for a light up feature, and that's all I'm getting, I mean, it looks beautiful, but no thank you. I'm just not going to waste my time or the money for it. I have better things to do. And I feel bad because Mezco has put out some quality figures. I own 11 of them. And I had more at one point, but I sold some of them off. So that's one
the
thing.
head, the
head lights up.
The eyes.
The head and eyes, that's it.
Mezco has it on their site for $120.
My friend said it was $250 at the local shop.
At the local shop.
I mean, $120 is not a. If it's $120, that's normal price. Because light up feature cable I have.
Yeah, go check their site. Go check their site because I wanted to see it because of what you were just saying. I just looked it up. It's $120 on their site.
So I stand corrected, folks, because I wouldn't have thought I wouldn't even invest because the higher end Mezco, because they just released Dr. Doom as a pre-order, and he comes out I think November of this year, October or November, and Dr. Doom comes with a throne. He's $160, metal parts, cloth parts. He's getting cloth goods. And he's got 2 different head sculpts, a bunch of different hand sculpts, and the throne looks dope. And they're asking $160. So if you're a Mezco collector like I am, I mean, it's not a bad thing. The most expensive Mezco I've seen right now that they put out is the Ghost Rider, which is $250, and that's for the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider with the motorcycle. So you get the motorcycle and the figure together. Now, obviously, they sell those Gomez figures that are like way more expensive because you get all the little doodads and like T-shirt and the box and stuff. But Ghost Rider seemingly, I think, is the most expensive one. So that's some of the news I've peeped on in figures. Obviously, we know that they've talked about the Marvel, and a lot of toy collectors are talking about it. And I'm going to pick Smitty's brain about it real quick. So what do you think about Hasbro's decision to make windowless boxes?
Hey. Unless they're going to be doing a ton of glam picks, which in many cases don't even, I mean, how many times have you streamed or I've said the pictures don't do this piece justice.
A lot, too many times, more often than not.
Right. So I think it's gonna hurt them longer term.
Especially with the fact that there's going to be paint app issues, fig swaps. If there's no way the way the box is closed, if you don't make them with like a seal, you have to break the seal on it, because that's the other thing people were saying. Fig swaps are going to be, now you can see if a figure's at least in the window, you can tell if it's been swapped. But now, literally, if it just glues shut and glues open, and you could open it, you can literally throw a figure in there. Somebody gets that kid or the adult that wanted that figure gets it, goes home, and opens it up and sees a fucking Barbie head in there,
Well, I mean, and you've said it with the Doctor Doom piece that, where they were stealing the background.
There was, Doctor Strange. They were doing it with the Defenders one. They just literally, I went to my Target, and you can see it's this big ass circle piece is not in the box, and I'm like, that's the thing that sells the figure. How are you not noticing that big orange thing in the box behind it's not in that one? As an employee that puts it on the floor, how do you not see that? Like, I don't know. I that just wows me. And it doesn't, but it does. Because, how many times you go to Walmart and see a Doctor Strange figure? It's supposed to be Doctor Strange, but it's like a G.I. Joe with like a Barbie gun, comb, and some other goofy Play-Doh looking thing in there, and they were accepted as a return. It's ridiculous. So I hope that Hasbro figure something out, because these window boxes make the difference. Because you can't fig swap this. It's a Power Ranger. Everybody knows what a Power Ranger looks like. You have anything in this thing missing, you're gonna notice it.
Well, I think that's going to be part of it too, especially for, anything that's not like pre-ordered, that's sent directly to the person. I mean, I mean, especially if you've got something that's got, supposed to have a certain accessories, and especially if you've got, like you said, like the Doctor Strange one, where you've got a very unique and very specific one, and it's not there when you open it. It's up, they're going to get a lot of pissed people.
And I feel like retail is going to catch the backlash, and that's going to just cause more problems for the collectors in the community that go to these stores where these employees either take them, hide them in the back. They don't put them out on the floor on time. We have the street dates all done wrong. I mean, there's been so many retail issues that I've seen documented on several people's channels. Batista, this boy right here. I want to take this bad boy out. This was supposed to be due out September of this year. They had him out 2 months ago. Somebody put him out by mistake. And I've seen, and it's funny because I left a couple of the toy groups I was in because they gave me so much hate when the Shang-Chi figures came out last summer. Mm-hmm. And I fig swapped. Yes, I admit it. I bought the figure, but I swapped it with a different figure at the register. And I swiped it and I put it in my bag and I paid for a Marvel Legend that was not Shang-Chi. And I got so much hate for it. But guys like Cincy have done it, Seth have done it, and everybody else.
I know a ton of people that have done that because, when you go back on sale day, you won't get him. Because why?
Exactly.
Everybody else just did the same thing that you did.
Exactly, and they're mad, and I get it. And why that some of the other YouTubers that do it, like they get equally amount of hate. Because since he even said it, he's like, yeah, I know people have said it to me, and I get the hate for it. I've gotten to a point now, I'm not paying scalper prices because people were trying to sell this for $80, $95, 3 times its value.
And if they can get it, all right.
But at the same time, no shame in the game.
Not
going to do it.
Is gonna, not everything will sell for that. But once again, if you've got them, a couple months before you're supposed to, maybe you can get it.
Hey, I mean, I've seen stuff fall off the truck. I ain't gonna lie. When I lived in New York, I had a hookup through my family. He would always get sneakers that fell off a truck, PlayStations that fell off a truck, TVs that fell off a truck, and we paid for them and we get a brand new TV that wasn't even out yet. But now with consoles and games that are like street dated and locked, and they'll lock your console if they catch it on, now I'm a lot more hesitant to do things like that. But when it comes to toys, I'm like, man, it's a fucking piece of plastic. Kiss my ass. So let's move on back to the mental health stuff, because I know JC had a topic, but before I get into the mental health stuff, I got to talk about this mental health issue. So I know you've at least heard this news. If you haven't, this will be news to you. What happened on Monday Night Raw?
No, because I didn't.
You have not. Okay, so you have not read the dirt sheets or heard anything about this. What I'm about to tell you. Okay, Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out. They went to Johnny Ace, head of talent relations. So I don't like the direction you're taking us as the tag team champions. You don't respect us. Here are our tag team titles. We quit. And they walked out on Raw 8 hours before the show was supposed to go on live. Then they changed the main event, quoting within the show that Sasha and Naomi left unceremoniously and unprofessionally with a shot. They took a shot at them with Becky and Pierce, and they were like talking. She's like, I can't believe it. They left the show, and I was like, okay, so we're making this. Is this an angle? Like I didn't know if it was it's a legitimate thing, and they've been removed from live events all the way through to September, and they're still reporting it because it's still relatively new, but they felt burned out and mistreated, and that why would you have us that are talented women put over two other talented women but not give us any sort of push? So, what do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of in the same camp Bob is. Good for them. I mean, the only thing is, the most logical spot for them to go is AEW, which, all right, they would be a very big addition to the women's division there. But AEW also does have a number of very talented, very good women.
Especially now.
Right. So, yes, they would be big catches for AEW for the women's division. But once again, they have an extended women's division that has a lot of talent. So they're going to an already oversaturated company that's oversaturated with talent.
Very true. Very true. So,
that's the logical move. But honestly, them standing up for themselves and saying, "Look, we don't like the direction you're taking us," and had they had previous conversations about that direction,
supposedly,
and the creativity and where they were taking?
From what I heard today, I'll tell you now. From what I heard today, they said on Jim Cornette's podcast, he said that they had gone to Vince McMahon. Sasha had voiced her concerns, because this isn't the first time Sasha Banks has walked out of the company. She walked out about 2 years ago, and took 6 months off, and renegotiated. They brought her back, and she had a title run, and pretty much has been like a heel face. She's well loved, and as people said, like Cornette said, she's one of the top female athletes in the company. She's well loved and pretty much is untouchable, because her family member in Snoop Dogg is well loved by WWE. So, that's your cousin, And you know,
Yeah, but
she's
all right.
also a movie star, because a TV star. She's done The Mandalorian, and she's now redoing. That's a recurring role for her. You know.
Yeah, but all right. She's not going to make a living on the 3 episodes of Mandalorian she's been on.
True, but I'm thinking if she left, she has money. She's sitting on money.
Well, I'm sure she is at the moment, but I mean, here's going to be here's the possible. You just said she's played this, she's done this before. Now she's building a bad reputation that, if she doesn't get her way, she's going to take her ball and go home. When, how do I want to say, the rumors I heard on how she got in to begin with was because of Snoop. He got her the opening and the chance. She didn't necessarily get it on her own. Now she made the most of it, and yes, she's a very popular, but the problem for Naomi is, she's been around a while. She's not getting any younger. So how much longer does she have?
I mean, I'll be real with you. With Naomi, she's safe because she's married to Jimmy Uso, who's Roman Reigns' cousin. If Roman speaks on her behalf, that's all she wrote. He's safe.
I think you give Roman too much.
I'm not giving Roman. I'm giving the Samoan dynasty
too much credit.
Really? After that whole let's go into the detail of I'm Jey Uso. I drink.
Oh yeah, we covered that.
And he got that, and that shit got covered, and that shit got laid out to rest, and nobody's talked about it when he should have had time off. And he got nothing. So I think that when your cousin is Roman Reigns, yeah, you might be able to get a little bit if you talk to Roman and he's the top guy of SmackDown. It might be something that he can help brush under the carpet and get her safe. Sasha, yeah, she can be untouchable, but like you said, she's built a reputation. It's the second time. It's Naomi's first. She can probably get in and be safe. Is Sasha safe? Probably not. But then again, 90 days, no compete. AEW, and she can knock on AEW New Japan's door and easily get a job.
Yeah, 3 months from now.
True. Very true. That's what I'm saying, Bob. I hate to say it. She's not a draw, but Sasha is. So let's bypass this, and we don't have much time left, but we're gonna talk about. I want to talk about the movies next week when we actually have everybody on the show, because I feel bad that we're missing some stuff. But let's talk about and the characters. Let's talk about one thing that I know has graced the screens late yesterday, and everybody's talking about it. She-Hulk's trailer dropped.
Haven't seen it yet.
Oh my Jesus. It is going to be, if from what the critics are saying, if it is done in the vein of Peacemaker, where it's more of a tongue-in-cheek, it doesn't take itself seriously, this show will kill it for the MCU.
Well, I heard, the couple of people I heard who did see it was like, oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's, So I have to watch it, but I just haven't had the chance to yet.
I'll put it to you this way. I've watched it twice. I watched it late last night when I saw that they released it, and then I saw it again this afternoon. And just from what I've seen, I like the fact that it's a different comedy angle. It's a little bit more I feel like this is a true character origin story. Like for those people that don't know who she is, she's coming out. Like it is her coming out. Like, you know, Ruffalo is definitely playing second fiddle, but I feel like Ruffalo can't carry a show on his own, even though they just announced that World War Hulk is going to be a thing, and that like he's gonna actually have that storyline.
Oh. Well, and depending on how they're doing it, Liz, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I mean,
but woke isn't bad. Okay, like here's what I'm gonna take. I'm gonna be very opposite to this now. I'm not saying that woke isn't bad. I think that people mistake woke for just being conscious. We don't have many women representations in comic books, especially on television. Yet Kate Bishop, which was, I thought, a very good show, but to many people, they hated it. I loved it. Then you have Black Widow's movie, and they hated it. I liked her movie. So, you know, you have to look at She-Hulk is in a vein of a lot of obscure characters. She's currently an Avenger in the current storylines of the Avengers. For the last couple of years, she's been a mainstay Avenger. She was a West Coast Avenger in the early comics of the 90s, in the early millennium. So I think that woke, when people are saying woke culture, so what? She's gonna be conscious of herself as a woman, and I think that's gonna be good because little girls want to watch the show. As much as guys are gonna watch the show to see a big boobed, green skinned chick that's gonna Hulk out but look sexy, as many guys are gonna want to see that. They're gonna want to also see, women are gonna also want to see the fact that she's self-conscious about her body when she transforms. So you're going to see that she's very aware of who she is. And she even says, I'm not a superhero in the trailer. That's better left to my cousin. So already I feel like this is something that's going to set up a lot of great potential going forward.
All right. But She-Hulk was always, I mean, Hulk was, I mean, you had Banner as the smart side and Hulk as the testosterone induced, you know, gamma ray induced, you know, muscle. And, you know, and many times he was like, you know, literally the Hulk smash, you know, kind of. She-Hulk was always, because, you know, she was educated. She had a career. She was always a smart, you know, positive, you know, representation, you know.
You're right. I know what you're saying. I agree with you.
Heroine, I'll say, you know, in the comics, you know. So, you know, yeah, I'm with Liz. I hope they don't mess her up.
I agree with that. I hope they don't screw it up. 100%.
Because I mean, I was excited when I heard they were going to do it, you know, and you know, yeah, my hope is, yeah, they don't try to do too, you know, a lot of tongue in cheek, you know, and or overdo
sexuality,
as we're calling it, the woke culture aspect, because she really was a great character to provide that positive kind of role model or influencer to, you know, especially to young girls. Here's a smart, you know, you know, not just superhero, but smart character.
And Liz is, I'm going to go and just read some of the stuff I'm going to address a couple of things she said. Ruffalo can carry a show. Yes, I'm not saying he's not a great actor, because he is. I've seen Ruffalo and other stuff that he's done, and I love it. Ruffalo's Hulk, to a lot of people, they feel he needs a foil to help him blossom. And I won't say that in Infinity War, him and Tony, that was a great foil with Doctor Strange. You have him and Ragnarok with Thor and Loki and Valkyrie. Great foil. Endgame. Ruffalo was, I felt, tried a little too hard to make Hulk like funny. Like Hulk out, yeah. I was like, no, it's a little too much. Like, no, sorry. I put the brains and the brawn together, and I looked at the Hulk like a disease, but he was actually the cure. I'm like, come on, no, this is too much. Great, why don't you be Gray Hulk? Give me Gray Hulk, and I'd be fine. But I understand in a lot of ways. What I'm looking forward to coming out of She-Hulk, Abomination, because Tim Roth is coming back, and they already showed him in the trailer. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing her training under Ruffalo and like her just kind of being a character in this new superhero society. A lot of people forget like Moon Knight, Eternals, Hawkeye, Daredevil. Well, no, I'm going to go Hawkeye, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. All those shows are post-Endgame. So they have a very strict way to live up to that standard that we saw set in the first 10 years. In the sense that we know that they're going to try a little harder. They're going to need to keep it niche, but not too niche that we don't like what we see. And they need to make it relevant to all watchers, including the hardcore fans. That's just what it is. Hey, babe, you're on camera.
Well, turn the camera.
No, I can't. This is what Smitty says hi.
Hi.
So, wife says hi. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm hopeful that we'll get something positive out of it. I mean, Moon Knight was good, but people slept on that. So, I felt that there were aspects of Moon Knight that needed a little bit of tweaking, but I did love the storyline. I think it was what I like to see in season 2, especially after the way season 1 ended. Fuck yes. Will I get a season 2? Probably not. Because they said in those 6 episodes, it was several $1 million to make an episode. I mean, you had Ethan Hawke and fucking Oscar Isaacs every episode.
Yeah. All right. I mean, a lot of that is the graphics and that kind of and the special effects. But honestly, yeah. I mean, from I would totally watch a second season of Moon Knight. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean,
it was good. So did I. I read the comics. It's a good story. It was a good story. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do get where some people are like, "Oh man, it was a lot of there was like filler episodes." What do you expect in 6 episodes? Same thing with Kenobi. It's gonna be the same way.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. I mean, everybody had. Well, all right. Here's a good example. I mean, Moon Knight is kind of like Moon Knight is a chance for them to do a repeat of Guardians, because very few people knew Guardians of the Galaxy. Moon Knight was not necessarily one of the top comics, even at its high points. It wasn't one of the big guys. So
very true.
This is a chance for them to introduce and get people excited about a lesser known character, hero. Kenobi is, if you don't know who Kenobi is now, I mean, before the series is coming out, where have you been for the last 40 years.
Oh God, yeah. Like, where have you been for the last, like, I don't know, 2 years that they've been talking about it?
But I mean,
Like,
right. So I would say, yeah, Kenobi's got a lot more pressure to live up to the anticipation than Moon Knight did.
oh, and you got to look at it like too with Moon. I think with Kenobi, what I'm super excited about is the fact that we're going to see the Second Sisters, which are all from the Fallen Order game. So we're gonna actually see about these sisters and the Sith that they are. We're gonna actually see Darth Vader, which I know they're not gonna put him in there. We're gonna see Hayden Christensen show up, but it's probably not gonna be like episode 5, maybe episode 6. And I'm okay with that. Like, I said it when I saw the trailer. I said, you know what? I'm okay with seeing Kenobi. Like, I like him talking to old Ben, you know, like to Luke's uncle, and he's like having that conversation, like, oh, I gotta train him, oh, like just like you did his father. And I'm like, damn, like that's the cold slap in the face. Like, she asked me to put that in there for her, so I love it. Like, I'm, you know, and I love Ewan McGregor's kind of look for this, that he's kind of like edgy yet nobody knows what he's, and nobody knows what, like, you know, he's been through since the time of the Jedi, because only right now at this point we know that there are, as far as the movies go, Yoda and him. Everybody else either was killed or has gone into deep hiding. Now, obviously, the comic books let us know that there are other Jedi that have existed, and the TV shows like Rebels, where we know that there was oh God, what's his name? The master, the guy that ends up, the one with the ponytail that teaches the kid, the little kid, Ezra's master in the show. He was a Jedi that went and hid his powers,
Right.
You know, and he went into hiding. So this is not an unknown belief that there were other Jedi hiding in the wings, waiting for shit. So now it's like, are we gonna see like Ewan McGregor like talk to people? You know, is he gonna end up like meeting other Jedi? Are we gonna see, you know, as my wife dances with a Abby in a spider cycle? Are we gonna see other things? I'm kind of excited. Like, you know, May 27th can't get here fast enough for that episode.
I mean, for me, all right, here's another one. I mean, Book of Boba Fett got a ton of hype. It was very different than what a lot of people were expecting.
Mandalorian season 2.5?
Well, in some ways, yes, but in some ways, that's it. It also sets up season 3. I mean, but it's not an origin story. It's a time fill. It's the last time you saw him, he went into the pit. What happened between the time you saw him in the pit and the time you saw him in The Mandalorian?
Exactly, and that's a very cool story. I agree with you. I think that was very necessary, and the fact that it tied into like Fennec Shand, and it did what it needed to do, because I know a lot of people hated that Favreau did that, and I'm like, no, Favreau. No, first off, you're stupid if you think Favreau was not.
All right,
you're tying the universe together.
I'm going to use Rogue One as a perfect example of this. Rogue One fills in that gap of what happens. You know, how did you get the plans?
Exactly. You know, how did R2 get the plan? What did Vader do? You know, to get on that ship and get angry. You know, I get you.
So no, I love what they're doing on the Star Wars side. Yes, I was a big fan of Book of Boba Fett. Bigger, you know, obviously Mandalorian. You know, but I've always been a Fett fan. So
I mean, Boba Fett is a cool thing. I like Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth is a cool character. I think people there was characters in that show that I grew to love, like Cobb Vanth being one of them. Fennec Shan being like, I mean, I love Ming Na Wen. I mean, she's amazing. I feel like everything she touches is like gold. Like every character she is, it's like, I love you. You were Mulan. I love Mulan. You were Fennec Shan. I love that. You were, you know. Wait, what I miss?
Nothing. I'm just looking at something over here.
Oh, you're looking at your Funko Pop that you had signed by her.
Yeah, this little.
Yeah, I know. Smitty's weekly flex. Weekly flex. I mean, yes, she's amazing.
Flex every week,
but that's a good. She's a good character, and I think that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. I mean, somebody posted on Facebook like the timeline of shows. They were like, if you look, we literally have a show every month and or a movie to fill in. So like you have right now till like the end of June, early July, Kenobi. Like 6 episodes get us to like July 4th. Then you have Thor, Love and Thunder, July 8th. You have August 7th or 17th. You have She-Hulk. Then you have Miss Marvel. Then you have Wakanda Forever. So we literally, from now till November, we have a movie and or show every month with maybe a week or two gap where there's nothing on Disney Plus. That says a lot.
Well, Thor is going to be theaters.
Thor's going to be theaters, but if you look at, like I said, when I'm saying Disney Plus, you look at it like this.
Right.
You have Kenobi, and I forgot what. Let me look. Let me see the picture on my phone because I downloaded it. All right, here we go. So I missed the show. I'm sorry. We have Kenobi, May 27th.
Mm-hmm.
We have Miss Marvel, June 8th. July 8th, Thor, Love and Thunder. August 17th, She-Hulk. Then we get a break. We get a break of shows. I'm assuming Mandalorian will kick in there around October. And then November 11th, Wakanda Forever.
Mandalorian, I think, is scheduled later. Mandalorian, I think, is closer to Christmas.
Really?
I thought so.
Usually, yeah, because they usually come out around Christmas time. It's either after Christmas or before Christmas. Well, that will suck if it is. But yeah, like, Wakanda Forever. And I just stupidly was reading a little bit about the movie. So.
Well, Star Wars, I mean, if you're going to get Star Wars normally launches their movies Christmas time.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
But
I'm surprised that we're getting Wakanda.
I thought I had seen that Mandalorian was December, not necessarily Christmas, but December.
It might be Christmas time because they usually set it up for it's usually the week before Christmas or the week after Christmas, and sometimes like Hawkeye is not getting a season 2, or is it getting a season 2? I forgot. Somebody said recently there were several shows that Marvel was talking about going into D23, like saying, "Oh, these are the shows that are going to get, sequels." Like Daredevil's getting a new season that's going to take place in the current continuity. So like it'll have like him being the representative for Happy Hogan, and what happened in Spider-Man No Way Home. There's talks about Blade showing up, Eternals, obviously what's happened with that, and what we're seeing coming out, like how Marvel's trying to keep their stuff and their continuities right. And then I know Christmas time we get the Guardians of the Galaxy Groot Christmas special, the Groot and Rocket Christmas special. So we'll see how that goes too. You know, it's gonna be cute. Who doesn't love a Groot? You know. So I have to admit, like I said, I'm pretty hyped. You know, I'm waiting for tickets to go on sale for Thor so I could go get me a lot of tickets. So I could, because I have to see that. Like I was like Morbius. Somebody told me, they were like, I can't believe you saw Morbius, and I was like, it was a good movie. It was a good popcorn movie. It was not the best movie, but it was a damn good popcorn movie.
Oh, I mean, and we can get into whether or not that's because it was Sony versus Disney.
Marvel. Yeah, Sony versus Disney, especially now that they're trying to keep Spider-Man again. I mean, this is my thing. Disney and Sony entered into that $7.4 billion deal or $1 trillion deal, and they said, we will split Spider-Man with you and this and this and this and that, and everybody was all happy. And now they're like, no, we don't know Venom. I'm like, no, Venom was terrible. Let There Be Carnage was not a good movie. As much as I love Venom and I love Carnage and I love that Venom was in the Spider-Man movie, no, I need. If you're gonna have Venom, bring him to the MCU. Let Disney take a shot.
Bring him to the MCU, because MCU will at least do an R-rated movie for Venom, which he needs to be. I'm sorry.
Yes, and let's be also realistic. Your Carnage movie could have been, if you let Sam, after what I saw with Doctor Strange, Sam Raimi should direct that shit, because Carnage needs to do what Carnage's name is. He needs to not just be like, oh, I'm going to stab these little people. Carnage needs to do exactly what he was doing in the movie, but not PG-13. I need to see R-rated Carnage. Like, run around, kill people, rip their brains out, drain the blood from them, do all this
I need a Venom that is R-rated and is pushing the envelope on whether or not you're going to get an X rating.
Yes. And same with Carnage.
Because of the gore and violence.
Exactly. If you were going to give me those movies, like Deadpool, even in some people were pushing like an NC-17, and that's a rare rating, folks. Showgirls almost got a triple X rating, and it got an NC-17. That's above R. So just think about it in that regards. Back in the day, I used to go to a movie theater in New York, in Yonkers, that was called Movie Land. And Movie Land, on the outside of the theater, had a scale. It would say like G, and it had like a rabbit. The rabbit was in every picture. It had then it had like family. Then it said PG. And then it had like the rabbit with parents and kids. PG-13. The parents, kids, and the rabbit. Then it went to R. Parents, other adults, the rabbit. NC-17. The dad and the rabbit. Notice there's less people going into the higher the ratings we're getting. And that for me was always something I remember going to the theaters. Oh, my earbuds died. So let me put them away. Oh, I dropped my headset. All right. You guys hear me?
Yep.
Let me see. Do you hear me now, Smitty?
Yeah.
All right. So this is something that I 100% lived by as a kid. And those ratings as an adult, young adult growing up into adulthood, remember like Alien, or I should say Aliens. That was an R movie. Basic Instinct should have been triple X, but it was like NC-17. Madonna's, well, oh God, what was it? Love, Sex, and something, or Truth or something. Whatever she did that was like pretty much almost porn. Like that to me is like your ratings are so soft. They're like, Venom's the PG movie. No, Venom's a symbiote that eats people.
Right.
He hates Spider-Man.
Well,
What are you talking about?
I mean, that's honestly though, Sony messed that up. They wanted to get the mass audience, but they didn't even learn their lesson off after the first one. Is even worse.
The first one wasn't terrible. I think the first one
wasn't terrible, but everybody said the same thing. Where's the gore?
True.
He
curses a whole lot.
Huh?
That's about the only thing that they really did, that he cursed a whole lot.
But I'm sorry, Venom is an anti-hero, just like Deadpool. You know, and yes, at least Deadpool, yeah, you've got gratuitous violence and foul and bad language and bad jokes, because that's what Deadpool is.
Sarcasm. Oh, Deadpool's even worse. He talks about masturbation and
right. But at least in the movies, they played to what he was supposed to be.
They really did. And you're right. I feel like that's a detriment of fandom in that regard. Like, you know, we see these movies and we're like, you want to do these heroes right. You got to do their characters justice. Like, I mean, honestly,
which Sony totally screwed the pooch on in both.
Like movies. Blade, if you do Blade correctly, and I get why Marvel is willing and Disney's willing to give Blade the R rating, and they're looking at it like it's a vampire movie, but they've set us up for it. Like Eternals was kind of like their first shot at like having sex in a movie. You know, and a lot of people thought that was tasteless. They're like, "Oh my god, I brought my 3-year-old to see this movie." Well, stupid! You shouldn't bring your 3-year-old to see that movie. I'm not gonna bring my 2-year-old to go see it. You know, did my 12-year-old feel a little awkward? Yes, but I mean, yeah, I felt awkward because I was like, "Okay, I know they love each other. Do I need to see them have sex? No." You could have insinuated it. No, but you wanted to show the full-on scene of two creatures, androids, cyborgs, whatever the fuck they are, creations of the Eternals. Like, you know, I like Kit Harington. I just can't wait to see him in his own movie as the Black Knight.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because that's another
Especially
one
that Blade's going to be gracing that movie.
So, and it'll be interesting having grown up with the Snipes Blade version of Blade to see what they do with him.
You know what I told you? Have I told you what I really wanted to see out of this Blade movie? What would make me like super happy? I don't think they'll do it, but I've read a lot about it, but I want Snipes to be in it, but not as Blade. I want Snipes to be the new Whistler.
That actually, I could live with that.
I would. That would be the greatest, like, passing of the torch. Chris Christopherson did a great job as Whistler.
The only other
Wesley Snipes. And Wesley Snipes, you're older. Yeah, he's in great shape and could still do some stuff. But why not have him be the guy that took in Blade? Because in the comics, he was an older black British gentleman that took him in and trained him. So why not have it be Blade? Now please, Wesley Snipes, don't do a British accent. Get me Idris Elba.
Well, that you know where I was going. I'm like,
get Idris Elba. Let's go get our boy Idris.
We bring Idris Elba, who we jokingly basically say, "Oh, why don't we just get Elba?"
Yeah, we should just have a show that we literally say Idris Elba should do it.
I mean, every time we start doing like a casting or, well, who could pull this off? I mean, we basically throw them in so many times. I mean, it's almost like that. I mean, it's like that's why I was cracking up, because I was like, I almost can't even say it straight faced.
Oh, I can't. When you said it, I smile because this is the first thing that pops in my head. I'm like, yo, why couldn't we get Idris Elba to just be in this movie?
Like why? Well, then why would we get Snipes if he's supposed to be a Black British? Why wouldn't we just go?
I know, like if we were, if you keep it to that he's born in America, then Snipes kills it. Yeah, let him hand it off. But if
but see, you could actually get Snipes. I mean, to even do a cameo, like have it. I mean, he could be a vampire in it, and people would still freak out because you at least got him in there somewhere.
I almost would like it to be the multiverse. Like if you did it where the multiverse cracked and they see each other, and like the two of them just lower their glasses and they smile, and then like he ends up getting sucked back into the multiverse. That would be some cool ass shit. Like the two of them from when Doctor Strange cracked the multiverse with Peter Parker. Here's what we saw: Blade meets Blade. You just see the two of them like, look at this motherfucker. Come on. That's like getting David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury and him meeting or Dolph Lundgren meeting Thomas Jane, meeting Bernthal. Have them do the Spider-Man. Only with guns. I'm Frank Castle. No, I'm Frank Castle. No, I'm Frank Castle. Chat, tell me that would not be funny, folks, to see that. Give Kevin Nash a job again. Let him be the speechless German assassin that gets his neck broken by falling down the steps because of his bad knees. But yeah, I'm definitely, I dig it. We got a lot. So we're going to end this stream here, folks, because me and Smitty got things to do. I know that we feel bad, and I do want to state this to our fans of Monday's show. I want to say this to Smitty, and if Bob was here, I know Bob's in the chat. You guys killed it on Monday. From a personal standpoint, you guys did an amazing job. I feel bad that I was not able to make it. Just life happened, and you guys did it. You guys are just amazing brothers that took over and did such a great job. I respect you both. I feel like if I ever was incapacitated to not do it, I can leave it in your capable hands and Bob's capable hands to run with it. So amazing job you two did. I just want to say thank you. And I wanted to apologize to several people that were looking forward to me being on there. I even apologized to Dougie. Like I messaged him personally on Tuesday and apologized to him. I'm very professional when it comes to things like that, people. This is a hobby, yes, but these are people that are friends of mine and friends of friends, and they deserve the same courtesy and respect that I would expect as well. So I reached out to Dougie and apologized.
Yeah, and I mean, we explained it to Doug, and we said, hey, Dre's got, has got some family stuff coming up. The wife's car broke down. He's trying to, he has to go take care of that. Life happens. I mean, just like JC and Bob were both supposed to be on. They're both under the weather.
Exactly. So
like,
we want you guys to get better. So please, I will say this now. Monday we have Fett coming on Toy Chats. So me and Bob will be there with Fed Up Toys.
I will try my best to make it on, but I will be out of town at a conference, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it.
If you can't, we understand. I almost didn't want to have the show, and I wanted to do something else, but I know Fed's schedule is very busy.
There is no way I'm gonna make that because of the time.
Yeah, and you're 2 hours.
I'm looking at. I was looking at. It was fun. You just made me think of it because I was looking at it and I was like, "Oh, this reception ends at 7." I'm like, at 7. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be able to make this trip." I'm like, "No, that's 7 Central or Mountain time. I have to figure out which one."
And that'd be 8 or 9 hour time.
Right.
So
I'm like, "Oh, the stream's gonna." I just realized and I feel terrible about not being able to make it because I mean these guys know Fett's probably the guy I have the most pieces in my collection from.
Yes, this is true. So I just wanted to apologize and let you guys know that we will have Fett up toys on Monday, and closing out the month, we will have Red Guardian. I'm looking very forward. There's a very much a running gag with me and Red Guardian, as several fans know. Red Guardian's nom de voyage is that he does clowns, and I hate clowns. So he and I have had like some back and forth with each other, and it's jokes. It's all jokes. It's all love. He's done some awesome stuff, and I look very forward to getting to talk to him. He is such a cool, well-rounded guy. I hear nothing but positive things about him, and just in the conversations he and I've had in the past, he's going to be an awesome guest. And same with Fett. I look so forward to having Fett on the show. That's going to be closing out our month. Now, I do have other people that have reached out to me, and I might be doing something with Wednesdays on the pre-show and turn it into like a little bit more like what I did with Josh Pence today. I know Foxy For Real Cody has reached out, and we're trying to work something out. I know Jared, Insane Goon, wants to come on a Monday show with our boy Josh Pence, and we had such an amazing time. So, folks, like I said, don't worry about things. We are well aware of what's going on, and we try to keep you guys up to date as well as if any changes are coming on with us, and we try to advertise as best as we can. So that's one of Red Guardian's pieces. So, but yeah, I'm gonna say thank you guys for coming through. We really appreciate you guys watching. I know Dark Collectibles came on and was looking for Josh Pence, and I apologize. JP did an awesome show with me. It'll be streamed here. It's already streamed, but you guys can catch the replay of that. It should have rendered and already popped up in your feed. Make sure you hit that bell. If you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. And, for me and Smitty and the rest of the Kliq team, we love you guys. Watch your heads on the way out of the dungeon. And as always, my friends, stay geeky, y'all. Peace out.
Later, guys.